So this is a quick sketch that I did, and I really wish that I had shown you how it came together so quickly. I started with the face, started with this circular shape, came down for the face, made this line across this part of the face, and then across the eyes. Let me run through that one more time. Made this circular shape, whoop, not that one, this circular shape, then made this line for the direction the face was facing, and then this line that was nice and curved, again with the nose, and I came with that great look. I think the hair really sold it. I think the eyes are also kind of interesting as they're kind of looking up and over the angle of the camera, but the thing that I really focused on was achieving this tilt right here. This tilt was huge, you know. You have this shape right here, and that tilt is really powerful. Looks really good. The other thing, of course, I think was the shape of the hips, which I don't know if this box means anything to anyone, but I thought that looked really good. Has like something natural about it. My other favorite part is definitely the right hand. That came together super fast, as you can see by the strokes. Kind of thick, kind of quick. And also the feet. I'm never good at feet, so check out these toes, right? You have the ones over here that are curled back and under a little bit, and the ones facing forward. Oops. And the ones facing forward right there. And these, you know, the angle of this this nail right here looks pretty natural. Ankle bones are in good position here. You know, this angle here is kind of a hard one, but there is a little bit of a dip down, forward and then down, right in that area. So anyway, this is our model, and I struggled with what I was going to do with this hand just a smidge, and I had a different version of the hand there, which looked pretty cool. I still didn't want it to look like it was you know, very strong and powerful as that one does here. Let me shut off that. This one looks like there's some direction to it, right? It's like I'm reaching out, I'm maybe trying to grab something. It doesn't look bad, but when you compare to this shot right here, just it makes it go limp. It's a really good limp angle here. This comes out and then the hand drops, you know. This angle isn't exactly perfectly straight up and down, but it just shows that at the wrist there is some ligaments, you know, holding this up and outward a little bit, but the limpness of the hand is what I was really interested in doing. Sorry, I keep switching it off and on. Overall, I think the model turned out really good. This was not drawn from reference. This was just an idea from imagination, starting with the face. Definitely wanting to achieve that angle of the shoulders right there. You know, the angle of the shoulders pinches inward this way, hips you know, angled in this way, and this causes this dent right here, which, you know, causes the you know, tissue to pucker right there, or dent out. So I think that made a lot of sense for me, doing it that way. You know, I had drawn the hand before I drew the backside, and before I drew the angle of the hips, and I feel like that turned out really good. Something else that's kind of a nice success is the way the hip comes out and then back in towards the knee. And the thing I'm so proud of, which again I can't really show you or prove it, but this came together super fast. So once I had done this, I made a copy of it, and I touched it up with some clothing and some shade. Now you can see some of the shade already there because I wasn't keeping things straight, but you look at the shade, and let's start at the bottom. this shade looks really legit. I mean, there's some different versions of it. There's the long strokes on the shade layer here. There's the this way, and that turned into some rapid fire strokes right there. And then there was a couple of these to just show a difference in angle. But primarily, I was keeping things consistent. You know, I started down here, went up in this direction, and over here though, after I did that direction, I did another direction the opposite way. And I think I just wanted this to appear darker. Oops, I wanted this to appear darker than this. So, of course, you know, up into the shadow more, made more sense that way. I did have some crisscross design of the shadow right there. Some different angles, as you can see, makes it look like it's the folds in the clothing. So the skirt has a couple of angles, this way and that way and this way and this way. Just adding a little bit of texture and maybe some 3D elements where there wasn't. But of course this shade is just coming from the natural side where the light, in Latvian gaisma, the gaisma was pointing, starting the lighting on the face, because that's kind of the most important part in my opinion. You know, the hair under the chin right there, you can see the difference. I cleaned up some of the things so it wouldn't look as sketchy right there, which is kind of fun. And oh yeah, let's talk about the clothing design. The clothing design that I came up with is totally unoriginal. You have tall collar here. You have you know, not super low line, not showing any cleavage or anything. Definitely wanted to keep the collarbone, and but then like the revealing shoulder parts. Of course, this all came from a design that I'd seen in a recent X-Men anime. Not that I'm into anime, not that I'm not into anime, but I don't really watch that sort of stuff. And I saw it, and I thought, well, let me make a slightly more modest, proper version of that, and got away with it there. Also, another thing that kind of adds to that modesty is covering up, making the waist kind of high right here for that belt. But something was happening with that hand, right? The hand had this kind of grabbing shape, like it was pinching something, but it was only on the leg. And so what I did was just made her hold on to the skirt for some reason. You know, I feel like it says something also about what's going on with this heel and these toes right here. Did she step on a jagger bush or something? Did she lose a shoe? I don't know. She doesn't have either shoes right there, so who knows what the problem is. But clearly there's something meaningful here that just sort of came out accidentally. The hand, you know, still remains limp and delicate. Overall, I was going for a very delicate, airy pose right here. Her pose is kind of barely curvaceous. There is a wobble, maybe we could call it, but it's kind of fun to see, you know, all the different curves that it turned into. She is very straight though. She has like this tower, skinny angle to her, which I think I was going for just by starting it off with such sharp features, right? Sharp eyebrows. Didn't work on any details in the eyes yet. I like that my ears are getting bigger and I'm worrying about them less, so that's kind of fun. I also like this thing I'm doing where I'm drawing in red over top of this to show you what I did, since I can't really show you the time lapse of my work on it, but at some point here I'm gonna have to start coloring this, and that's probably what I'll show you next.